whispering wonder.
The story begins with the sound of distant thunder, low and gentle, almost like a purr in the sky. The lonely traveler, let's call him Elias, steps outside, umbrella folded at his side. The rain hasn't begun fully, but droplets land softly on the pavement, cool and rhythmic. He listens, head tilted, feeling as though the clouds above are inviting him into the world. He thinks about how quiet the street is, empty sidewalks, lamp posts glowing faintly in the gray. He feels both comforted and a little hollow, like the rain is a companion that speaks in whispers but never answers back. The rain begins in earnest. Elias walks slowly, listening to the sound of droplets striking rooftops, sliding down gutters, pooling in little rivers along the curb. Each step makes a soft splash, boots dipping into shallow puddles. He closes his eyes for a moment and imagines the city breathing with him. The hum of distant cars, the soft patter against his umbrella when he finally opens it. He remembers the laughter of friends he hasn't seen in weeks. It feels distant, like a dream. The rain becomes both a curtain and a stage. Behind it, he imagines a world where someone might be waiting. As he walks past rows of houses, he notices windows glowing warmly. Inside, silhouettes move, families gathering for dinner, couples talking on couches, children bouncing with energy even as the evening grows. Elias lingers outside one window, the rain dripping down his hair where the umbrella doesn't cover. The scene inside feels like a painting. Warm light, warm people, warm lives. He smiles faintly, not with envy, but with longing. The rain keeps him moving, as though nudging him towards something of his own. He whispers to himself, "One day, I'll find people who wait for me like that." He smiles faintly, not with envy, but with longing. The rain keeps him moving, as though nudging him towards something of his own. He whispers to himself, "One day, I'll find people who wait for me like that." His steps carry him to a small playground. The swings sway gently, creaking as raindrops bead on the chains. A slide glistens under the drizzle, reflecting the glow of a nearby street lamp. Elias sits on one swing and lets the rain paint his jacket. He rocks back and forth slowly, the squeak echoing like a lullaby. He remembers childhood nights when rain meant puddle games, when friends dared each other to run through storms without coats. For a moment, the emptiness eases. He laughs softly at the memory, the rain mixing with his laughter like applause. Leaving the playground, Elias finds himself on a small street where a cafe's neon sign flickers. It is nearly empty, but through the glass he sees a person seated at a corner table. Their eyes meet for just a second, and they smile at him, kind, casual, effortless. That smile lingers in his mind long after he passes. He wonders who they are, if they too are alone, if maybe the rain has brought them the same quiet yearning. The thought becomes a gentle flame inside him. The rain intensifies, drumming harder on rooftops, echoing against empty bus stops. Elias pauses beneath a tree whose branches bend with the weight of droplets. He closes his umbrella and lets himself stand bare beneath the storm. He hears music in it now, the rhythm of raindrops hitting different surfaces, the soft hiss on leaves, the deep tap on benches, the watery percussion on puddles. He hums along, his voice low, syncing with the natural song. For a moment, the loneliness feels less sharp. The world is singing back. Turning down a narrow alley, Elias hears echoes. His footsteps double themselves, bouncing off the brick walls. He pretends someone is walking with him, their steps perfectly matching his. He talks quietly under his breath, imagining a friend beside him. The echo answers, not with words, but with presence. There's comfort in pretending. In ASMR, the sound of one's own breath, one's own voice, can be enough to soothe. Elias lets the alley be his companion for those few minutes before he steps out again into the wider world. The rain begins to soften as Elias arrives at a small night market. Only a handful of stalls remain open, their awnings dripping steadily. Vendors pack up slowly, but the strings of lanterns overhead glow warmly against the wet night. He buys a small pastry from a woman who thanks him with a cheerful nod. The sweetness lingers on his tongue as he walks away, a reminder that even small exchanges can fill an emptiness. The market feels like a promise. There are people out here, people with whom a connection is still possible. Elias stops at a wide puddle formed in the center of the street. Street lamps and neon signs ripple in its surface. He crouches and looks at his reflection. For the first time tonight, he doesn't see someone alone. He sees someone who has wandered, listened, remembered, and found pieces of joy along the way. The rain has traced him, softened him, filled the gaps with sound and rhythm. He touches the water, distorting his reflection into something playful. The puddle laughs with him. The rain finally thins to a mist. Elias walks toward home, umbrella folded again. The streets glisten, washed clean, and he feels lighter. His loneliness is still there, but gentler, no longer a heavy stone, more like a shadow that follows, not a burden that drags. He whispers, "I'll find friends, I'll find joy, maybe not tonight, but soon." The night listens, the rain, the windows, the echoes, the strangers, each has given him something. And in that soft giving, he realizes he is not truly alone. As he closes his door behind him, he carries the sound of rain like a lullaby into his dreams, where tomorrow waits, brighter and full of possibilities.